Solo queuing in Apex is an experience for sure. Maybe you solo queue because you don't have any friends to play with or they're busy. We all have different reasons for solo queuing, but it can be difficult when your randoms are off in their own world. But with these tips, you can improve your personal solo queuing experience and overall get better at playing with randoms in Apex. I'm going to cover some of the most helpful tips to know when playing as a solo. Number 1. Never depend on your random teammates. You should never depend or have high expectation for your random teammates. 95% of the time, your random teammates are never thinking what you are thinking. They'll more than likely do what they want to do and be in their own world, whether that be they're off looting the edge of the map or not supporting you when you are fighting a team by yourself by trying to flank or take odd angles. Never set your expectations high for your random teammates. If they live up to your expectation, then that's great, but never set your expectations for them. You could be trying to lead them in the right direction to prevent them from dying, but as I said before, they are in their own world. The sooner you accept this fact, the better you become a solo queuing. I'm not telling you to be a selfish asshole to your teammates, but don't be so selfless that it gets you killed. Because becoming a great player, not just in Apex, but any other game really, means you have to think for yourself and your teammates as well. It is important that you keep in mind of what you need to do to stay alive and put yourself in the best position to win fights. A lot of the time you will die in solo queue just because you went in to help your teammate who pushed a team by themselves and died. But you shouldn't be doing this. You should be assessing the situation at hand and thinking of a strategy on how to overcome these obstacles. Number 2, picking spots when dropping. Some people will think this is common sense. It is, but a lot of the randoms I play with do not know how to properly land at a spot they pick. When dropping out of the dropship, you should have a spot that you already plan to go to, but what's even more important is what you do while dropping into that POI. When landing at that spot, you need to be free looking at how many enemy teams there are nearby and where exactly they are going to land. You need to collect this information so that you don't land on a team and have to contest for loot and die with an arc star and a shield battery because you weren't paying attention to your surroundings. What I like to do when dropping into a POI is that I hover over the spot that I already planned to drop and hover over it for a while to see where the enemy teams are landing and which are closest to me, and keep that in mind so I can either get ready to defend myself because I know that they can come towards me, or I can go towards them and fight that team. This helps with your game plan after you finish looting on what team you are going to push and what teams could potentially come to third party or 3v3. Sometimes you can land at a POI uncontested, but sometimes you are going to land with teams and you need to figure out exactly where they landed and figure out a game plan from there. You can't just go straight into a fight blind from the drop. You have to use your free look option a lot more and improve your awareness. The third tip is pretty simple. You need to be practicing. You might hear this from me or other content creators, but it's something that you need to be doing, which is why we all double down on this. If you're a casual player who plays 2 hours a week or something like that, that's fine. Everyone has things to do in their life and have priorities, but it is going to be hard for you because Apex Legends has been out for almost 3 years now, and the skill ceiling is getting higher and higher every season. People who have dedicated time and energy into this game have figured out ways to get better and figured out new mechanics and technique to outplay their opponents a lot easier than the average casual player. You need to put in time to improve your aim, your movement, your map knowledge, looting, and in-game fighting. You can run drills in the firing range, and one helpful drill is activating the bots in the firing range and using them as practice to replicate in-game situations. I made an entire video on this recently. The fourth tip is communication. I'm going to sound like a broken record with this one tip specifically, but you need to be actively communicating with your team, especially in solo queue, because some people aren't going to talk with a mic, so you need to be using the ping system to communicate with them. You can use pings to tell them that you're defending this spot, you're going to attack a certain area, or you see an enemy. If they choose to listen to your pings, that's good. But if they don't, then that's their problem. As I said before, most random teammates are off in their own little world and you shouldn't have expectations for them. So if you think that you should go to a different location and they don't follow you, don't stroll behind them and risk your life or theirs just because they didn't want to listen to you. But don't be an asshole and not communicate with your teammates. Pings. But you don't want to be at a disadvantage in a fight just because you didn't ping that you saw an enemy team thinking that your teammates saw them as well and they go into that building and get fried. I know you're down one man, I know you have to fight a 2v3. So use your ping system to communicate if you don't want to use your mic. The fifth and final tip is learning how to isolate fights. Not every fight will go into your favor when solo queuing. Your teammates may get caught out of position and go down. You may need to clutch a 1v3 or a 1v2 situation. This is where you need to learn to isolate fights by not trying to push a full 3-man by yourself and trying to use distractions and even your own teammates. I said distractions, isolate a fight. You need to break that 1v3 into 3 separate 1v1s by using your surroundings or your legend abilities. It is hard to do this, especially if it's a full 3 stack who knows that you're a solo and will get more aggressive knowing that fact. But you just need to remain calm and use your surroundings to your advantage. If you manage to clutch up, good. If you die, then GG's. You tried. A 1v3 is hard to pull off if you can't isolate fights, and especially in open areas. Unlike what you see with Fade and AC, who use their environment to their advantage with the zipline buildings. If you're out in the open, it is hard to isolate fights because they will come pushing you. I hope this video helps you to become a better solo queue player and improve your solo queue experience. This has been Playboy Sasuke. Until next video, have a great day.